Welcome, everybody, to the Naturally Yours podcast, where we celebrate our beautiful women of color while spotlighting their success and bringing more awareness to their natural hair. On today, I have a very special guest for episode 6. I have the pleasure of interviewing this beautiful, beautiful queen who is the CEO and owner of an online boutique, clothing boutique, and also works a 9 to 5 while being a single parent. Help me welcome Miss Beautiful Toya Montana.
Thank you. I love
You're
it.
welcome.
That was so sweet.
You are welcome. So, how are you doing? I'm so thankful that you had time to come see us today and take time out of your schedule to be with us.
Thank you so much for having me and inviting me here. I'm doing well. The holidays were really, really nice. Of course, too short as always. So we're
Of
just like
course.
extending it at my house. I'll probably do some more baking, brownies and cookies and stuff later. So
Ooh,
in the holidays all the way into the new year.
got you, got you.
Yeah.
I'm sure your child is really going to love that.
Yes, she definitely loves it.
Gotcha. She got you. That is awesome. So that's a nice mommy and daughter time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Something I look forward to every year because we're always
Yes.
so busy. And then when we
Hmm.
come into like her winter break of school, and then my job takes about a week in between Christmas and the New Year where we shut down. So it's just a
Got
really good opportunity to reconnect.
gotcha. Nothing like mom and daughter time for sure. It's definitely needed. The bond, the
Yeah.
relationship. Okay, so moving right along, let's get into this interview. So for everyone that's not maybe familiar with you as of yet, why don't you introduce yourself, what you currently do, so everyone can kind of have an idea.
Awesome. Yeah. For the past 10 years, I've been an Instagram blogger for fashion and beauty. And I basically started that platform a little bit about 2011. So, yeah, it's been just coming up on 10 years. And that platform has evolved into so many different things for me. It's birthed my YouTube channel and my online clothing boutique, and just so many other opportunities for me to do things that I love that are creative. So
That's
that's
awesome.
basically what I do. My online clothing boutique is very trendy with a lot of sophisticated classic styles that have sort of like a trendy
Ooh,
twist to them, so that, even though a certain style might be a classic, I think it's so important to just modernize it and bring your own twist and your own personality to each item. So that's what we strive to do at the boutique.
gotcha. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love things customized to me. I love being different. I love looking different.
Me
I don't,
too.
yes, I don't want to look like, 10 other people. I want to be my own person and look how I look.
Yeah, so that's definitely the goal with the boutique. And of course, the goal with my beauty brand and my clothing brand is to inspire women to feel beautiful and be confident. I feel like there's so many beauty standards that people are subscribing to that don't benefit their confidence. And I want
Right.
to be a voice in their ear that says, like, being different is beautiful, and knowing your worth, and, just doing
Hmm.
self care in different ways, whether that's in fashion or in beauty, knowing that you're worth it every single time.
Yes. High five to that girl. Yes, because
Thank
the confidence booster does need to be lifted for sure. There are too many stigmatisms out here of how everyone should look.
you.
And
Exactly. Oh my
we're
gosh.
we're definitely supposed to be unique in our own way. That's why God made us all different. So, girl, kudos to you for bringing awareness to that. I love that.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, along with your online business and being a blogger, how do you navigate that in your schedule? Being also having a 9 to 5.
I would definitely say it can be challenging, but
Hmm.
instead of like internalizing it too much as far as like when I'm unable to do stuff, because I used to really, really internalize like, oh my God, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. I realized that it's better for me to use that energy to just push myself to do better. And that's something that I'm working on, being more consistent. I personally know that sometimes being a mom might come before the store. And I used to really just feel bad, like, oh, if I wasn't a mom, I would be able to do all this stuff. But now I'm at a point where I understand that sometimes I have to be a mom and sometimes I have to be an entrepreneur and sometimes I'm blogging and sometimes so I wear a lot of hats and I
Hmm.
just shift them accordingly. I don't put too much pressure on myself anymore like I used to in my earlier years I would be so just like, oh, I just have to do this, I have to do that. But now I just kind of go with the flow and I realize that helps me produce my best work because if I'm not in the mood to record for YouTube, I don't do a good job because my content, like, to me, I really have to like set the bar high. And sometimes my energy isn't where I need it to be, and I don't want to be contagious in that way. So I'll
Hmm.
just not be on social media. And as much as we talk on social media, like sometimes I'm not there because I need to be
Yes.
present for myself. So that's
Right.
kinda how I take it. I know that there is sort of like a trend on social media where people like announce their breaks. I noticed that a lot. Like a lot of YouTubers that I watch are like, "Oh, hey guys, I'm gonna be gone for this amount of time," or "Hey guys, I'm sorry I was gone." But I
Hmm.
feel like we all are human and we know how it is to be human. And some days you just
Yes.
so I really don't really explain my breaks too much unless it's like
Hmm.
somebody that I'm close to, like you, or a message or something. I'm just like, "Hey girl, I'm just tired." But
Right.
that's pretty much how I balance it. I take it one day at a time and I let my energy, whatever I'm pulled to, like a magnetic force, that's what I'm going to do for that day. And I
Gotcha.
think that's also why I sort of toggle between beauty and fashion. Because some days I might be all into skincare, and then some days I might be all into fashion. And I want to give you guys whatever energy is like most prominent in me at that time.
Right, right. No, that's totally understandable. And I love that you don't stress out about whatever you couldn't finish. You don't let it run your life. You just, hey, whatever I couldn't finish that day, hey, I'll finish it tomorrow.
It's
I love that you give your, not saying you're giving yourself a pass, but I love that you're not too hard on yourself. Like, cause I know me personally, I can be too hard on myself, and I am working to be better at that.
I think
So,
it's a good thing too, though.
what'd you say?
I think it's a good thing too.
Yes, I do think it's a good thing because I'm like my biggest critic.
Right.
So I do love that aspect of it. But then there's some parts of me like, no, stop, you're doing too much.
Yeah, I totally understand. And I think you have a good balance too.
Oh, well, thanks. I am definitely working on it. It's a work in progress.
It's all about
But
the balance in life.
yes, it's so about the balance and having a family and trying to balance all your hats. Like you said, it gets challenging. It definitely gets challenging, but it's gonna pay off, girl. It is gonna pay off for us, and we're inspiring other women and young women as well.
Definitely. Oh, and this is another way that I like keep track of things. So this is my
Gotcha.
planner, and
Mm-hmm.
I always get like one that's like something I like to look at. I love butterflies and I love black and white. So I always try to get something that's like aesthetically pleasing that I love. I'm gonna want to hold it and write in it, and that sort of just helps me to have everything in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have like notebooks, probably like right here, you can see. And I just use like that one notebook to jot down and brainstorm everything. But then I use
Okay.
this to actually put times and dates to the brainstorms.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I need to get me a new planner. Like I got one, but I think the way it's made, it's not really user friendly because it's one of those you have to flip up the notebook, flip
Yeah.
up and so it's just kind of hard.
Oh,
But
I love that word, user friendly. That's the most important thing for me.
yes, it's got to be user friendly. But I definitely did take note of your white and black because
Oh,
your brand ribbons and the way you wrap your gifts are black and white. So I do know that you do love that.
thank you. I really appreciate you noticing the little things. That means a lot to me.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, I definitely notice it. I
I
definitely
love
notice it.
when
I love that. I
thank
love it. You're
you.
welcome. You are welcome. So, how about you tell us what made you to decide to become an entrepreneur? I know you were starting off on social media,
Right.
but was there like somebody who inspired you to become an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, or was it maybe you're just wanting to have something to leave a legacy for? A combination of both. What's your
Right.
thought?
That's a great question. It's definitely going to have to be a combination of things. But
Okay.
I'm trying to think what made me actually take the leap to do it. What I would have to say the pandemic. Um,
Mm.
I've been in the fashion industry for a lot of years. Since I was like 10, I was modeling and going to the
Oh.
like modeling schools, and I was doing fashion shows and taking pictures for brands, and
Hmm.
just doing a ton of modeling just on the side. And
Hmm.
I always wanted someone to help me like manage that and become bigger and better. But then I realized that I might have been on the wrong side of the industry.
Mm.
I realized quickly that I'm a leader, and a lot of times modeling is being like sort of like the follower. You're taking the lead, you're taking direction. And I know that I have a lot of creative juices that I wanted to, you know, see come to life. And
Right.
so I started being my own creative director with modeling. And then that led me into becoming sort of like a stylist. And then that led me into wanting to have my own fashion brand because I also have sewn for a while. I think I started sewing in like seventh grade, started
Gotcha.
making like pillowcases. So it's just funny how life all ties together. Because in the beginning, I was modeling and I was sewing, but I didn't see the vision of being like, of creating clothes and becoming like a fashion designer and owning my own online business. But
Hmm.
then when the pandemic hit and I was trying to figure out what type of business I wanted to start, it was a no brainer. But it
Right.
really took until the pandemic for me to see that it was a no brainer. And I think that that time period of just being home every day, um,
Yes.
it gave me the push I needed to actually start the business.
Gotcha.
But people
Gotcha.
also inspired me,
Yes.
definitely before. I've actually modeled for a company, and she was starting an online clothing boutique, and I
Mm.
was telling her how much I wanted to do that, and she was a great inspiration to me too.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So, um, do you still maybe keep in touch with this person who inspired you, to start your clothing business?
I don't, but I wish I did. It was sort of one of those things where, like, a friend of a friend introduced
Oh,
me, like, oh, I know someone who models. Oh, I know someone who owns a fashion line and needs a model. And then I sort
gotcha.
of just had that opportunity, and I got to see a little more behind the scenes than I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of just stuck in my head, that interaction with her and me telling her how much I was inspired by what she was doing and how one day I wanted to also have my own brand. But she knows
Gotcha.
that she inspired me. I did tell her once I started my brand, I was like, hey, just wanted to let you know
Uh,
you inspired this. But I don't keep in touch with her. I probably should though.
hey, hey, I'm sure the next time, or if you ever get in touch with her, you won't lose it again. So,
I
and
won't.
hey, she may see this interview one day and be like, "Hey, let me get in touch with her."
I would love that. I love
Yeah.
connecting.
Yes. Yes. So I want to. I know we kind of skipped along a little bit, but I kind of want to give a little more clarity to the audience about
Mhm.
how were at your 9 to 5. I don't know if you had London before then or after
Mhm.
while you're working the 9 to 5, and then you developed the entrepreneur. Can you kind of take us a little bit through that, like how you
Yeah,
developed the struggle, how you got through the struggle of being a single
absolutely.
parent?
So, with my single mom journey, it actually starts when I was 18 years old. So
Okay.
now I've recently just turned 30 and my
Okay.
daughter is 11. So I will take you back to the beginning.
Okay.
So at 18, I was always super ambitious. During high school, I was always like class president and student council, in the modeling club, doing this, doing that. I've always just been a very ambitious woman, a woman who loves to lead, who loves to um, just put things together, create projects. So I was just always excited about life. And when I got accepted into Howard University, I knew that great things were coming for my life. I was just head over heels, obsessed in love with Howard. I was just like, okay, this is the place for me. I grew up in my childhood in Baltimore, and then towards the end of middle school, my mom moved me to South Carolina. So huge difference, very much like city, urban. You guys know what Baltimore is like. And then South Carolina, very much like suburban. So I graduated high school and I was dating this guy for like 3 years or so. And when I
Hmm.
graduated, I went to Howard in DC and he stayed in South Carolina. So
Gotcha.
that was my daughter's father. And
Mm.
basically, with that situation, it was just, how can I explain this? Just two people who are totally different. You know, one person who has all these big dreams and plans,
Hmm.
and then one
Hmm.
person who's easily swayed and who wants to get involved in all types of trouble and things that I had no interest in at all.
Gotcha.
That obviously did not work out.
Right.
And it turned out to be a super, super painful heartbreak. Oh my God. I was
Oh.
just, mortified as well because he stopped being a dad to my daughter when we broke up. And that is like, it's the hardest thing. And then on top of that, I was a teen pregnancy. So I had
Hmm.
all these eyes on me and people just really judging me, judging how my future is going to play out. And that was a huge motivating factor for me because it allowed me to see who people were as far as their character, and it allowed
Hmm.
me to see who I was as far as my
Right.
character. Am I going to let all the he say, she say stop me from all these goals that I've always had?
Right.
Um, am I going to let being a single teen parent stop me from all these goals? So I really bossed up in that time period. Um,
Hmm.
I worked as a waitress. I worked at Nordstrom's. I worked for Ulta. I worked for all these companies that I loved, and I learned a lot about business. Um,
Yeah.
Being a waitress, I really learned how to make money fast.
Hmm.
And it was like cash, so that was great, helpful for me and my daughter. I learned a lot about time management when I was in college, trying to balance my classes, asking my friends to watch my daughter when I had a test, trying to get help from my family. But, like I said, I learned a lot about people's characters. So I didn't always have the support I needed from my family either.
Hmm.
But I am super grateful because they definitely did, the best they could and they definitely helped me out. But,
Right.
sometimes they didn't even understand the plight, the weight of the situation. So
Right.
it was definitely a difficult time, but I
Hmm.
read a lot of awesome books. I read about Dr. Maya Angelou, who also was a teen mom and graduated from HBCU. And she talks about, her journey raising her child. And that inspired me because she's like the most world renowned poet. And to
Yes.
read her autobiographies and know what she went through, even with like rape and sexual assault and all of these traumatizing things as a woman, it was inspiring to me. And I knew that I could withstand the storm.
Right.
So after I graduated from Howard in
Mm-hmm.
2015, I definitely took longer to graduate than my peers, but I was so elated. There was absolutely nothing anyone could tell me. I didn't care if it took me 20 years. Once I had gotten my degree and was able to say that I did it,
Mm-hmm.
it was like it catapulted me into the woman that I am now, because it was just like I can do anything. And
Right.
I was like, I
You're
can do
fine.
anything. And once you have the mentality that you can do anything because you've actually seen yourself at your lowest,
Mm-hmm.
I remember times at Howard when I was trying to graduate where I had to write a letter to the professor and let him know, like, we don't even have electricity right now, and I'm here. Like, no, I'm dedicated, because I had
Right.
professors who would see how I look and they think that I'm so put together and I'm pretty or this and that, but they don't know my
Mm-hmm.
struggle. They don't know that
Right.
I'm from Baltimore and that, my family's fighting generational curses on their own, so they can't really help me. They
Right.
don't know that, I'm barely able to pay my bills right now because I'm a full time student, 18, a full time mom. I got to buy diapers, I got to buy milk, I got to, buy clothes, and I'm
Right.
doing this on my own. So
Right.
sometimes I would have to, like, I don't want to say check, but
Mm-hmm.
like just shed some light on what I was going through, because people, they see so many things for face value and they
Yes.
look at you and assume
Yes.
you have it going on. I even had someone write like a nasty gossip page about me while I was at Howard, and I was just so hurt because as a black school, you think that we're all in it together. We're all trying to fight against the oppression that black people face. And you would think,
Right.
oh, they see me as a single mom who's still hustling to get her degree. But no, some people will see you and they'll see the spark in you and
Mm-hmm.
envy it instead of be inspired by it. So
Right.
I had a lot of hard lessons that I learned throughout that time.
Mm-hmm.
But when God was done with me and it was time for me to get my degree, I was, nothing hurt anymore.
Right. Right. Because you've been through the storm. You came from the bottom,
Woo!
single parent, and I can relate to that because that is hard, but getting through it makes you so strong.
Yeah,
And
the
man,
time,
it's like we have a cape on our back, being
yeah,
a single parent
the
for
hard times
sure.
you never forget. I remember, living
Me
in these
either.
very hood situations, like,
Hmm.
and people. I remember this guy came to my house after I moved out of one of my hood places, and he was like, "This is much better." And those are the little moments you remember, like, oh dang, I guess I was down bad, but you were just trying to make it. I was just
Yeah.
being able to pay the rent and buy books and
Right.
diapers.
Right. 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 So did you work all three of these jobs at one time, or was it just one job at one time during while you were going to college?
I always had multiple sources of income,
Hmm.
but I never worked more than one job. So most of
Okay.
the time I was working as a waitress, and then I was tutoring on the side. So I would have students that I tutored for an hour after I'm done with classes. Then I would leave there and go waitress, and it was just very exhausting. And then Friday, um, running back and forth to Baltimore because sometimes I was able to have my grandmother keep her for the week, and
Hmm.
that helped. But then it was also the fact that if anything went wrong, I got to get from DC to Baltimore in no time, whether I have a test or not, because I'm a mom first.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I will tell you this. I am very inspired by your story and being a single parent and then going through college and graduating because I will admit, a lot of people start college, but they don't finish it. And I was just one of those. I went kind of because it's kind of like what everybody expected you to do, but it was
Yeah,
like my heart wasn't really there. You know what I mean?
I do
So
completely.
I do love that you started and you finished. And I love that you learned, different things and aspects while you were in college that you know, you started to apply to your daily life. Because, we hear all the time, college, you don't need to go to college. Like, you don't
Right.
have to go to college to learn anything. And I mean, That can be true.
Definitely.
But then on your side, you actually learn certain skills and certain things in college that you were able to apply to your daily life.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you could have been a little bit behind, like if you didn't go to college, like compared to your status right now, or do you think it wouldn't have slowed down anything?
That's a good question. I would have to say that I can accredit my foundation to college. And when I say my foundation, I mean like my main source of income. I can absolutely connect it directly to my degree.
Gotcha.
And I couldn't say that 5 years ago, but I
Gotcha.
can say that now. And that's
That.
because I had to learn how to make my degree work for me.
Mhm.
And I had
Mhm.
to, I was really one of those kids who had one foot in, one foot out. So I was in college, but a lot of people didn't know me in my classes because I was so busy.
Right.
And a lot of people just knew me as, oh, she does papers. Like you can hit her up. And if you need help for your paper, she can help you. Or she'll, a lot of people knew me for my side hustles. She does makeup, or she can braid your hair, she can tutor you. But they didn't necessarily know how good I was in the classroom. And I was always super book smart. And that's something that sort of bothered me because I felt like I was robbed of being able to truly indulge in being a student.
Gotcha.
And looking back now, I realized that I wasn't robbed and I was actually learning both sides of life. I was able to learn how to move up in Nordstrom's or Macy's or any of the
Mhm.
stores I worked at, Forever 21. I could go on for days. I learned how to, get a job waitressing if I knew I needed income right away. Um,
Mhm.
but then at the same time, I was learning how to get my resume and cover letter together and how to present myself um, in like a white collar job where I'm working at a desk. But
Right.
it really took me some time to sort of transition over from my side hustles into my degree because, like I said, I spent so much time. I don't want to say in the streets, but in the streets, making sure that we have food on our table. That it was hard for me to take the free internship jobs because I couldn't afford to.
Right. Right. Because you got a mouth to feed. You a mom. Right.
Hmm. And
Got to
now
make those
looking
ends
back,
meet.
yeah, no, definitely. And now looking back on it, I see that I was able to transition eventually. And I was able to secure like my corporate job. And like I said, that's like my main source of income that's allowed me to grow all of the side hustles, which were really just seeds that I planted when I was young.
Mhm.
I had like this DMV makeup business, and I would just take my makeup thing around and go do people's makeup for events and weddings. And in that time, it was survival, but now it's like, no, that's what I want to get back to.
Right. Right. You enjoyed those things.
I loved those things.
So loved. So that's even better. And I love the hustle in you. I love how
Oh,
you
thank
were
you,
so versatile and had so
thank,
many different ways to make money during college. That's man, that's
thank you so
that's
much.
so dope.
I had so many people who made fun of me for it. I just thank God that I was able to believe in myself. I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. I had so many
Yes.
people who's like, "Oh, she always trying to do something, or she's switching things again." But I was a creative, and
The
I
haters.
mean, even now, I like to paint. I love art, and me celebrating all sides of who I am, it came full
Mhm.
circle one day. But I know a lot of people used to be like, "Oh, here she go again, working at Nordstrom's now. I thought she wanted to do makeup. Oh, now she's, I had to deal with all of that. I definitely, uh, and I definitely had some times where I was depressed and I had anxiety. And I
Mhm.
talk about some of those times in my YouTube videos because I want people to see who I really am and get the
Right.
transparency that
Right.
we crave nowadays. A lot of people just see your Instagram page and they're just assuming that you're fake and you're this, or that you're
Right.
perfect. But,
Right.
you know, I had to heal those wounds on my own, me and God.
Yes. Yes. And that's truly the only person that can heal them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no one else can heal our wounds at all.
Ooh, I went through it, girl. I'm blessed to
Girl,
be able to come out on top,
yes, yes. Man, they always say, like 50 Cent says, joy feels so good after you have been through pain.
though. Ooh, doesn't it?
I know I didn't say it right,
No,
but
you said it fine. It really does, because now I'm at a point in my life where I can laugh about those times. And
yes,
they hurt
yes,
bad.
yes, yes. And you are doing it. Like you are doing it so young
You know,
and doing you have your own business. Plus you still work a 9 to 5 and you're taking care of your child, your daughter, your beautiful daughter. Like kudos to you because that's tough and it's very challenging. And you could give up because it gets so challenging. But the fact that you're staying 10 toes down and staying committed and consistent, like that shows true character for sure.
thank you so much, Ty. That means
You're
so
welcome. You're
much.
welcome. No problem. So let's see. What else do I want to ask? So, how about you tell us what are some things that you learned on the way that could maybe help shortcut the process for maybe another inspiring single mother? Like, what are some things that you would recommend that they do?
Okay, I definitely have some gems for the single moms. I would have to say the first most important thing is to let go of all of the distractions. And distractions come in so many different forms, whether that
Mm-hmm.
is, a person, and whether that person is your own mom, maybe your dad, maybe your sister. A lot of times, toxicity, it's it's generational.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they say like, "Oh, I'm poor because my father was poor and his father was poor," but most of the time it's not just about um, socioeconomic status and wealth. It's about the mentality that you're passing down.
So
And
true.
for me, it was like all of those things, people's mentalities, how they saw the world. They were trying to put that on me, and I had to release it. I had to release
Mm-hmm.
it. I couldn't hold it. I couldn't carry it. It was too much for me, Lord. I had to release it because I didn't want that for me. I was like, oh, let it go.
Right.
I didn't want that for me. I heard what people were saying and I listened to them and they had no basis. And, maybe that's their experience, but I claimed victory over mine. And
Mm-hmm.
it was really just about me telling myself that these were just distractions. I never let my vision get cloudy. I was completely focused. I used to listen to like trap music, like Gucci Mane and
Mm-hmm.
um, who else did I love to listen to? Rocco, and just people who always talk about getting it out of the mud, getting it out of nothing, making it happen. And even though I wasn't out here selling drugs and killing people, I was definitely like, I felt like a soldier. I felt
Right.
like it was just me and this baby. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I put my headphones in a lot of the times. I listened to my music that inspired me to get it, and I let the distractions go. I didn't listen to other people. I didn't even let them take up my time. If the energy wasn't right, I cut it off. And it
Yes.
wasn't always easy, but it was always necessary because
Right.
I couldn't afford for it to affect me. I couldn't afford for it to, because one
Mm-hmm.
wrong move, we're evicted. One wrong move, and we're headed back to Baltimore, and that's it for my chances at having a degree. One wrong
Right.
move, and I don't know who's going to raise my child. So it's just one of those things where I couldn't afford to mess up, and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
afford to let anybody distract me and cause me to mess up. So I, made my plan and I stuck to it. And like I said, it took me longer than anticipated to get my degree, but I never let the time and even, the longer it takes, more people talking. Oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to graduate. I was told that by people who loved me. I never let it internalize. I never let it get inside of me.
Right.
I let it fall off my shoulders.
Yes. Roll off your back.
So my biggest thing for single moms is don't be distracted by people who always have something to say. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
distracted by people who are just on the outside looking in. Figure out exactly what it is you want and go for it.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Believe in yourself.
and find people to look up to and people who um, who you can collaborate and have the same mentality and mindset. But if they don't have the same mindset, like, it's okay to let them go. Because I think a lot of problems in the Black community come from we think that we're responsible for everybody,
Right.
especially Black women. We totally do that. Well, I know I did. And I had to let go. I had to let go of
Right.
everybody else's responsibilities because I have my own stuff to focus on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, true. We have to focus on ourselves at some point.
Mm,
Otherwise, we'll never get to our destination. Well, that was a very good gem
yeah.
for us ladies who are single mothers. You definitely have to knock out those distractions because they will trip you up every time.
Every
E-
time.
Every time. Maybe you can't go hang out with your friend this weekend because you need to concentrate on those goals. You
Absolutely. And
you
if
can
that
hang out another time.
Right. And if that's, and a lot of times it was for me, like, I had friends, but I had to realize that they weren't really my friends because they were, oh, well, you had a baby. It's over for you now. You're not going to be able to do this. And just hearing that from people that you think, care about you is definitely painful. But once you get past that, you have to cut them off because they will continue to infect your mind and they will bring
Yes.
you down and they will make you feel lesser than.
Right. Agreed.
Let them go.
Agreed.
I lost
Gotta
a lot.
let them go. Everybody can't go. That's why they always say that everybody can't go to the winner circle.
They can't. It's so true.
It is. It really is.
Hmm.
Sorry, but you gotta get left behind.
And hopefully they'll catch up.
Hopefully, we wish you the best.
Right. And I have faith that people will learn and correct themselves, but I also can't wait for it to happen.
Right. Right. Like when you know better, please do better. Don't keep doing the same nonsense year after year after year and
Oh my
thinking that
God,
something's magically going to change because it's
please
not.
don't.
You're going to stay in the same little rut that you've been in if you don't make any changes. Because where we're at right now in our life is based off decisions that we made 3 to 5 years ago, is where we are right now.
That's
So
so true.
3 to 5 years ahead moving forward, if you're still doing the same thing, you're going to still be in that same spot
Mm.
while you watch other people ascend off to the next level because they decided to make moves, to make a change, to
Hmm.
evolve, to become that different person. We shouldn't stay the same. We should be constantly evolving.
I love, I love that so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us, Toya, what are some things that you see for your business moving forward?
Okay. I see us expanding big time.
Yes.
I really do. I see us just offering more. I know that we offer, like sweaters and things like that in the wintertime, hoodies,
Mhm.
and, a few statement pieces for the summer. But I really want to have like basics. And I also want to go into beauty. Oh, I totally want to get into beauty. But I'm trying to tackle
Yes.
fashion first. So
Right. One thing at a
one,
time.
but in the
Yes.
future, beauty.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait, girl. I
And
can't
I
wait.
really love skincare now, so it's like, I got
Girl,
beauty and
I'm
skin.
moving into it, girl, because I've been asked so many times, what are you using for your skin?
Yo, your
Girl,
skin is
I can't
beautiful.
really tell them I use anything.
I already know how that is. That was me. I finally started using stuff, but skincare is just like so much.
Yes. Yes. It's so important though, especially by your skin being your number one, your biggest organ.
Oh,
Um,
that's so true.
yeah. It's so man, I skincare is definitely important. And now I've started like to incorporate my skin a lot more, even though my skin isn't bad, but I still want to
Looking
keep it.
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, sis. I still want to keep it, young and healthy looking. And so I just need to, make sure that I'm doing things to keep up my skin as well. So I'm definitely working on my regimen. I'm getting me some staple products in, girl,
Yes.
so I can see what I want to use day and night.
I'm still trying to figure out, everything I need because I'm new.
We gonna figure it out, girl.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now let's get into the fun stuff. Not
Ooh.
that that wasn't fun, but even more fun, our natural hair. So why don't you take us on the journey of you be well, why don't you take us on the journey of you having natural hair? Have you always been natural, or did you transition back, or did you do a big chop? What's kind of been going on?
Okay, so my natural hair journey is crazy, just like everyone else's. It's like a big zigzag. Um, I actually think I started getting perms when I was like 13 or so.
Okay. Around the
Ter-
time I did.
Terrible.
Terrible.
My mom didn't really know too much about hair care, so my hair was
Same.
a mess. I actually learned how to do my own hair in sixth grade. I started doing my own hair, but I didn't have any proper skills, so that was a mess as well. Um, so all through high school, I pretty much put way too much heat in my hair that was already processed with the perm,
Mm,
but it was still like shoulder length, and I wore it
okay.
straight every day. And then I started getting like sew-ins. And then when I got to college, I met these amazing women who were natural. And
Mm,
I was in love, obsessed with the health of their hair. Like, I could not believe how healthy it looked and how versatile it was.
mm-hmm.
But little did I know, I still had tons to learn at that point. But yeah, it was my college roommate. Her name was Simone. She had the prettiest hair ever. She she basically made me go natural when I was pregnant because I was pregnant our freshman year.
Mm,
Was one of the people who had my back 1,000%. Was making me food and stuff, and she would
aw.
tell me, "I'm gonna do your hair this week, and I'm gonna show you how to do it because you got to do it next week." And I'd be like, "Oh, but I can't. It's too big." But she would do my hair for me until I left,
Aw.
and she would teach me, and
That's amazing.
she was amazing. She
Shout
like,
out to you, Simone.
yeah, Simone actually like changed my life because I was able to teach so many people from her about natural hair, and my mom just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sometimes it just takes one person to wake you up, and then you wake up five other people, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a
For
thing.
sure. I definitely agree with you on that. I'm gonna piggyback off of that.
Mhm.
So the whole reason why I went natural, girl, I was literally in the chair at the African shop, getting my either goddess braids or goddess twists, one of them.
Uh-huh.
Those are my main two things I got all the time.
Oh wow.
And this is during the time pretty much where I was taking a break from getting my hair so pressed. So I went and got my hair done, and the lady that was waiting to get in the chair next, she said, "Yeah, I'm going natural. I'm done with this perm thing." She was like, "These perms develop fibroids, and those things are no fun, and they're just not good for women. And I'm never getting another perm again. I'm going natural." I told my husband, "No more perm. So I'm going to transition, keep my hair braided," is what she said. So at the time, I didn't really do any research. I just was like, "Oh, fibroids, that's not good." But I wish I really would have took the time to really research um, everything about our hair and relaxers and those type of things. I just didn't. But I did end up transitioning based off what she said. I never got another perm after I heard her say that. I didn't get no more
That's
perms.
awesome.
And I
They are
just transitioned. What'd you say, hon?
No, I said that's awesome because those perms are the devil.
They are. They are. The creamy crack is not the way to go. It it causes about what 80% breast cancer. So does the hair dyes. So my job, what I like doing is bringing awareness to that because a lot of people don't know and they feel like the relaxers is the best way to handle your hair when it's not. That chemical is going right into your brain, just
That's
like the hair dyes. So yeah, I'm trying to educate everyone I come across, which I try to give my tips as an influencer
yeah.
to bring awareness. So I'm just here to educate the community, but yeah, that's just what I want to piggyback off of.
That's crazy.
Yes, yes. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't.
So after Simone taught you everything you know, did you guys keep in touch or
Yeah,
did you?
I pretty much still talk to Simone, not super often, but on Instagram.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
we get to see each other. She had a little baby boy. He's so
Oh,
cute. Yeah, it's my
that's so
cousin.
awesome. I'm
Yeah,
glad that you guys are still in touch because that's amazing that she helped you change your natural hair journey completely.
yeah. And she really helped me because I went through a really big depression when I found out I was pregnant, and she helped me through that too
That's
because
awesome.
I couldn't believe it.
Right? She's such a beautiful person.
hmm These
We
people
need
are key.
Yes, yes, need more of those. We need more people like that. Yes, genuine people like that. I love it.
And then let's see what else happened with my natural hair. I actually
Okay.
had a super bad incident where I went to a woman. I actually went to her like 3 times, but on the third time, she
Hmm.
put a perm in my hair.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a
What?
Dominican salon. I was just supposed to get a blowout. And she put it in my hair instead of like a deep conditioner and had me sitting under there. Ugh,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
healing from that situation. So I cut my hair off completely in 2000. It was December 2019. So basically 2020. So this is where I'm at now. And it's growing back. And I also like cut it evenly across because when I first cut it, I just like cut some of the damage off the back. And then the second time I went and cut it off the front, it was a mess. So now I'm finally recovering from that. But if I'm honest, I'm still healing from
I
that.
bet.
And I
I
have some
bet.
issues about people doing my hair because I never thought she would
Sis.
do that to me. You know, our kids
Right.
together and girl, I wanted to fight.
Girl, I already know. Cause it's like, don't be messing with our hair now.
Don't believe that.
Don't be messing with it. Cause I know how I'm gonna feel. Like I work too hard to get to
And my
where
hair
I'm
was
at.
long at that.
Yes.
It was like here, like pressed out, like it comes like
Gotcha.
it was.
Gotcha.
That was long for me, and I was
Yeah.
crying.
Yes. Yes. And girl, I understand because my hair has been cut off like 2 or 3 times. My cousin cut off my hair one time because I went to the beautician and she was like, "Who cut your hair? Who didn't you say you were getting your ends trimmed?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, you still have split ends." I'm like, "Are you serious?" She's like, "Yeah, you still have split ends." And all that length was cut off, girl. Like my hair was past my neck. It was on my back. And when she got done, it was like up on my neck. So she cut off all of that hair and I still had to get more cut off because she didn't even cut off the split ends. I'm like, what the heck? So I was like,
I
you
don't
know what? And
know if
then
you
the
could do it
same
anymore.
beautician, she cut off my hair one time too into like a 70-year-old hair lady hairstyle. I
Yes.
hated it. I was like, no, this is not what I wanted when I came here. Girl, I must have changed that hairstyle as soon as I got home. It was like a waste of money because I didn't even keep
Wait,
the
what
hairstyle.
I recently had my hair done half up, half down. and I had to
Mm-hmm.
take it out because the girl did it so tight. All my edges were popping out. I had bumps and red.
Oh no. What was it, braids?
She did a sewing in the back and then like a, the ponytail right here. It was so tight.
Tight. Oh.
Oh my God. I had a headache for hours after taking it down.
Oh no.
So I was just concerned that I was gonna like lose my hair or something.
Yeah, I'm glad that you took that down. Good job, sis. Because
I was like,
anytime you get bumps, it's too tight.
and then I was like, I'm not even talking to her ever again.
Right. That can cause alopecia. Because I'm technically dealing with alopecia from those braids, from the African braids, because they braid up every single strand of hair, the baby hairs,
They are so
and
annoying.
it'd be too tight. And so at the time, I didn't know that that was harmful. So I've created damage for myself. So I'm like healing myself. I am giving
Mhm.
myself scalp massages so that I can increase the blood flow, and that will help fill in the baldness or
Yeah,
the
I
thinness.
think I have some alopecia in the back of my head as well. Um, I think it's from when I had that perm from that girl because I have pictures of the damage and like the whole back layer
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
completely straight. Just a total different texture than my natural.
Wow.
Yeah, I
I'm
tried to.
so sorry that happened.
It was just a lot trying to figure it out with the attorney and money, and I was in school because I actually was going back to school to be an RN, but I changed
Oh.
my mind right before the pandemic because I got hired in my
Mhm.
current job.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Gotcha. So last question, what was your biggest downfall throughout your journey thus far? And how did you overcome it?
okay. Oh, ooh, I know what I want to say for this. So I would say my biggest downfall was having social anxiety. And I say that because even though I was confident enough to like, go for my dreams and not let people tell me no and go
Mhm.
through the back door if I have to, and be a waitress if I have to, be humble, work hard. I was confident enough to do all that. I had some setbacks because people, instead of like being proud of me for overcoming all the stuff I was overcoming. Like I said, people who are envying me. Oh, she just got a MacBook. A lot of us don't have those. Okay, I was working for it.
Right,
Stuff like
right.
that. And a lot of people like I told you, there was like this fake page in college, and that hurt
Mhm.
me. I want to go in the cafeteria, just little stuff like that. But then my friends, they held me up, like, girl, they making pages about you because you Beyonce. That's the paparazzi. You know what I mean? So I had some great people in my corner, but I did develop social anxiety from people sort of like bullying me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I also the situation with my daughter's dad, when I was saying it was a heartbreak,
Mhm.
we were engaged and he got someone else pregnant. So that created major social anxiety for me. I felt like I couldn't trust anyone, especially
Right,
when I felt like people were laughing at me. I felt, like a failure. I felt like that
right,
in different ways. And um, it made me withdraw from being social. I didn't want to make friends because I felt like people were just out to get me. Oh, they're just
right,
gonna attack me or try to bully me or think they know me when they don't know anything about what I'm really going through.
right,
So
right,
once I healed, I realized that, yeah, I healed from all the stuff that I went through, but now I have this looming cloud of social anxiety that tells me that people are evil and I can't trust them.
right.
So I had to do my research and I had to learn what it was because I didn't even
Mhm.
know I had it, for a while. And then I had to
Right.
figure it out. Oh, that's called social anxiety. And then I started reading books about it and watching videos about it and um, just breaking the hold that it had on me. Um,
Right,
Reaching out
right.
to people and being myself, like you, talking to you, is
Yes.
part of breaking my social anxiety because old me would be too scared. Oh, what if it's an ulterior motive to make a fake page about you? Just something
Mhm.
crazy I would be thinking.
Right.
but
Right.
me can appreciate the friendship and be her full self because she's no longer scared. So,
Yes.
social anxiety stopped me from being on YouTube. I was afraid
Mm.
people were going to take my videos and judge me, or take my videos and make more fake content, or, use it as
Mm-hmm.
a way to talk to me and tear me down more. So
Right.
it really had to, um, I had to come out of my shell, and I had to stop being afraid.
Yes.
And I had to realize that even though I did go through some pretty traumatic experiences in the public, they made me who I am, and
Yes.
I could go through them 5 more times and I'll still
Yes.
be fine. So
Hello.
I
Tell
had
them,
to tell
girl.
myself that. I was like, girl, they could do that to you again. And guess what? You're still going to be you. They can't stop
Mm-hmm.
you, even if they stopped you.
Right. They can't stop the greatness from happening.
They
They can't stop you. You
can't.
can't you can't beat the person who never gives up.
I love that. That that's
That's one of my affirmations, girl. I had to slide it in there.
no, that was really, really good. I need to write that down. You really can't though.
You can't. You
I took
can't.
what
You
6
can't.
years to graduate college, and mind you, I've always been the top of my class, so I should have been able to do it in 3.5 years. But God, He took me all the way around. He took me
Yes.
all through the slumps and the hills and the valleys, and by the time I graduated, I was a totally different person.
Hey, and that's probably why it took you longer because God wanted you to develop fully into the person He wanted you to be. Because if you probably finished in that 3.5 years, you wouldn't have developed into the woman that He wanted to mold you to be.
Yes, glory. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
I love your story, Toya, and I love how inspiring it is because it's showing other women and younger women that you don't just give up because it gets hard. You keep going. Just like I believe it was Steve Harvey who said this, if I'm not mistaken, but he said, why would you stop? If you're going through hell, why would you stop in hell? No, you keep going. So you
Yeah,
get out of there. You don't
yeah,
want to stay stuck in hell. So if you quit, you're gonna be stuck where you're at. You got to keep moving, keep going, because it's only gonna get harder. And those
yeah.
are tests to show how bad do you want this.
That was
So
so beautiful. I'm grateful for your conversation today, and I know
aw.
we learned so much about our similarities.
Yes, yes, yes. I truly enjoyed you in the store, in your story, in your journey. And, I hope to have you back here in maybe, 6 months or so to catch up, to see, what's going on new with your business and new with you, just so we can stay in touch.
Thank
Well,
you.
you're welcome. And why don't you tell the audience where they can find you?
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Instagram at underscore Toya Montana, and my YouTube is also underscore Toya Montana, and my clothing store is at Shop Toya Montana. So those are ways you guys can connect with me.
So y'all connect with my girl Toya. Y'all shop with my girl. She got satin scrunchies. She got bomb clothes, y'all.
Thank
So make
you.
sure y'all get over there and connect with her. And Toya, thank you for coming on the show today. I truly, truly appreciate you. And good luck on all your new endeavors.
Thank you.
And peace, love, and happiness, y'all. We are out of here.
Bye.
Bye.